Topps has had quite an April, and Topps has had quite an April so far. They have been releasing Topps has had quite the month so far. They have been releasing news all throughout April that I think is going to change the landscape of sports cards, and I think their most recent piece of news may be one of the biggest so far. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you enjoy sports card content and hobby analysis, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Now let's get into the video. It's released the news the other day that they are going to be coming out with their own set of Series 1 NFTs. Now, if you don't know what an NFT is, it's a non-fungible token. Essentially, it is something that can be owned in the digital space. It's like digital art. There are also digital horses that I've seen. Top Shot is obviously another example. So Rare is another example. And I've had kind of almost an epiphany over the past few days that, like, with this news for Topps, that the Top Shots, because in my head I was like, well, yes, so you own the video, and however many 100 other people can also own this video, but like, what makes your ownership of the video different than the NBA's ownership of the video? And I realized that that's not really exactly it. Like, the point of it is that it's like, with these NFTs that I think are going to be coming out of Topps, it's essentially just like a digital trading card, but it's a video. And I guess that's one way that I guess makes sense to me, and it's still something that I'm trying to wrap my head around it. But digital art makes a lot of sense. Like, I was somebody who was doing a lot of Instagram designs for sports design, and that was one of the ways that I was growing an account. Now, I don't think it's the same as like somebody named Beeple, who is creating these wild, like, atmospheres and this wild. If you've never heard of Beeple, go check out his art, but be prepared to be pretty shocked, 'cause it's pretty wild. It's wild. It's super wild. But one of his art pieces, I think this is crazy, sold at Christie's. It was the first NFT digital art to sell in a physical shop, because Christie's sells physical paintings. It sold for $69 million, which I saw a funny TikTok actually the other day that someone was like, if Beeple hadn't taken out his $65 million and he kept it in Ethereum, which I guess that was what the payment was in. I'm not 100% sure about that, but the person said that if he kept the $69 million in Ethereum, it would actually be worth $80 million now from when the sale was to now. But either way, so Topps announced that they are going to be dropping their own NFTs, which I think this is big because it's not going to be the licensing, and the way that Topps is doing it, I think, is a lot different than what we've seen people kind of creating these types of off-brand or unlicensed sports art. I think we've seen a ton of those on the market. Like, we've seen players do it, and they can't really sell. I don't believe they can sell the art with logos on it. Like, I know Gronk had one. I think Tyson Beck is also doing a bunch of series of NFTs with, like, Jason Tatum, and I think he's doing one with Donovan Mitchell as well. Tom Brady had one. I know Eli Manning and Peyton Manning, they also had some sort of NFT that they were selling, like, throughout their careers with, like, art, stuff like that, which I really like, and I think that's a really cool idea. But I definitely am a fan of what Topps is going to be doing. I just think it's going to be innovative in the way that, like, I hope that they do it correctly, because it is innovative, but we have seen this in the past. Like, Panini last year did this, and they did it with their blockchain cards. But, like, the weird thing that Panini did was they came out with the blockchain physical card, but then, or some of them, and this is kind of the weird thing that Panini did. I'm not sure if they were just, it seemed like every single card or every single different set for the blockchain for Panini had a different kind of wrinkle to it. Like, the first set that came out was the blockchain national treasures. All of them were one-of-ones. I believe they had autographs, so you can get the digital asset, or you could get the physical asset, which I don't know how exactly the selling of the digital asset works, because I think you'd have to sell it through Panini, because the digital ledger, essentially, this is what the NFTs are. This is one of the things that I think is going to be different with NFTs versus, like, art or versus all this stuff, because, some people say, I'll get back into Panini in 1 second, but people say, well, why would you want an NFT if you can just take a picture? And it's the same thing. Like, I've heard that, and at first that's kind of what I thought, but then I heard the comparison. It's like, yeah, sure, you can take a picture of the Mona Lisa, but the Louvre owns the Mona Lisa, and you know that the Louvre owns the Mona Lisa. It's going to be the same with these NFTs and with like the digital ledger type of environment and kind of all that sort of stuff. Like your name is going to be, or your account name is going to be attached to this asset, which is a digital asset. So it's going to be the same with these NFTs, or the same with, at least I'm thinking that's what it is, because that's, if you go to like OpenSea, or I know Steve Aoki did like an NFT, I forget what website that was on, but like OpenSea.io is one that I definitely suggest taking a look at, and learning about NFTs I think is going to be important, because I think it's going to change the industry of ownership and digital ownership and art, and the way that Panini did it was they did like the digital asset. Like you could buy the one of one Logo Man Zion digital asset, but you could also buy a physical card. But then they did like a flawless set that was only digital, and then they did a Prism set, which I don't exactly like that they did this. They the physical cards that they sold were, I think, they're Prism and then National Treasures were the only two. But with Prism, there was then 3 different one of ones that had different patches. So like I said, they did something different with each of the releases of these cards, and I think it's going to be interesting to see if Panini, if they do something similar to what Topps is going to be doing. And I like that Topps is using one of their top brands. And I guess one question that I definitely have is what's going to happen to the apps like Topps Bunt, and I think Topps Kick, and then Blitz and Dunk for Panini. I'm wondering what's going to happen to these apps, because one thing on Instagram I saw was a lot of people were talking about these apps, and that these apps were going to be what Topps was going to use for the NFTs, but now Topps is linking up with, I believe it's called Wax.io. It's kind of cool that it's like Wax, like the name of like what people buy like for sports cards, like boxes of sports cards. It's kind of like that. So Topps is teaming up with them, and unfortunately, and I should have done this right away. Like you could have got a free pack if you just signed up and then you made a digital wall and you entered your email. And I had the opportunity to do it yesterday, and I waited until today, and now you can't do it. So what the packs are going to be, there's going to be like, I think it was a regular pack, and then there was a premium pack. I think the regular packs, there's going to be 50,000 of them. There'll be $5 a piece, and then there's going to be, I think premium packs were $100, and I think it was either 12,000 or 24,000. I forget the exact number there. But I have seen some pictures of these cards, and they basically are just going to be the Topps Series 1. I think Topps is just going to be releasing these cards the same way that they release regular physical cards. Like, I think each product is going to have their own NFT set. Like, Topps Series 1, and April 20th is the release date for these ones. So I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of cool to see what happens. Like, I wonder if the NFTs for Topps are going to be similarly priced to Top Shots. I don't think they will, because I think the NBA has a little bit more juice behind it, and I think that's why you're seeing some of the like random highlights of random players like go for hundreds of dollars to sometimes thousands of dollars. I don't know if these cards are going to be similar, and I don't know how the rarity of the cards, I guess, will be interesting as well. I don't know if we're going to, like, they've released some information, but they haven't released all the information, and I think it looks like the design of the cards is going to be exactly the same as Topps, the flagship set, which I guess when Series 2 comes out, they probably will be adding more Series 2 packs, and I guess, and I don't know if they're going to, I don't think I saw if they were going to add in, like, Gypsy Queen, or, like, Topps Heritage, or, like, Heritage High Number, or, like, Bowman eventually, maybe, one of these sets that comes into here, but I think the fact that Topps is taking NFTs seriously, I'm hoping that it goes well. That's kind of one thing, because I think they did, Topps waited until they, because the boom of NFTs, I guess you could call it, has been going on for like about a month now. And I think we've seen a lot of people kind of rush into it a little bit. Like, we've seen a bunch of influencers doing it. Like I said, Tom Brady, which I guess they have the money, like Tom Brady, Gronk, all these people. They have the money to invest in someone who knows how to do it correctly, and I think that they did do it correctly. But I guess it's going to be interesting to see, like, Topps, and I don't know if other companies, I can't think of any companies specifically that are like Topps' stature that have done this in a similar way. But but this is off the heels, and I guess maybe I didn't say this at the beginning of the video, and I didn't make a video about this because I still think that I don't know what's going to happen. So Topps sold. So Topps is going public. They've done this in the past, and it's the one thing that I saw about them going public is like that they've done it in the past and it didn't go well, and they did it right at the height of the last few booms within sports cards, and I do get worried about that, but at the same time, like I just don't think. I do think that like eBay and the internet has totally changed the way the landscape of sports cards. So like those are some of the main reasons why I think that we are still in sort of the beginning, not really the beginning, maybe we're in the more of the middle, but we're in like the earlier stages of where sports cards can go in terms of like the popularity of them because of the internet, because of how stuff overseas, because of eBay, because of all this stuff. I just think that we're still in the earlier stages of where sports cards can go in terms of popularity. So Topps going public this time, I don't know what's going to happen. I listened to Mojo Breaks, and that's one of the things that they said. And I think it's, as a content creator, it sometimes can be like, well, what's your opinion on it? And I think the past few big pieces of news that have come out, so like the PSA sale, the PSA pausing their submissions, the Topps sale, the Topps now coming out with the NFTs. I think the NFTs is a little bit different, but like Topps selling, I think these are billion-dollar things that are happening. Like these are not like just a card selling, like $1 million card selling or another Jordan card selling. Like these are billion-dollar moves that are going on in the industry, and I think it's hard for me to exactly know if it's going to be good or bad, and I think only time will tell whether the sale is going to be good or bad. I hope that it's good, obviously, because you're watching this video. It's something that I spend a lot of time on as sports cards, so I'm hoping that it's good, and I am optimistic because of the people that are kind of coming in. Like, for example, the coach of the U.S. women's national team or the old coach from when they won the World Cup, I believe, in 2017, and then when they won the World Cup in 2013, or it was either 2018 and 2014, or no, I think it was 2017. I forget the exact years, but the coach of that team, the women's U.S. national team, they're on the board now. Also, they brought in the co-owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, which I think is huge because, bringing somebody that is an NBA mind when they don't have the NBA license, like what is that going to mean for Topps? Like, are they going to get unlicensed basketball cards? Are they going to maybe fight for the NBA license once that is expired? Which I don't think that's anytime soon, but will they do that? Like, I think that'll be interesting. Like, maybe they get some other type of basketball license that they're allowed to do. Maybe they get like the digital license. Maybe they start the digital NFTs or more NFTs for basketball. Like, who knows what's exactly going to happen, but I'm excited that this NFT news has come out, and I'm excited to see how the release goes and what the prices of these NFTs are and kind of how they sell. So I'll be interested to see that. I want to thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.